This comes right out through the garage. It's a little slab house, about 1,600 square feet. Little area there, right by the airport. Where they built a whole lot of these houses, and everybody got Linux. Linux. And there we go. Alright. So we got a UV light up there too. Alright guys, I am in a tight spot here, as you can see. We got the fence back here, and they got the fence running all the way around the unit. It is in the ground pretty good, and I'm stuck in here between this house and this corner right here. But I am doing a second opinion. One of our property managers, a lady selling the house, and she uses the so-called experts of service in our area. Be another one video I posted maybe about 4 or 5 weeks ago about this same situation. This 7-year-old Linux unit is low on charge, and they're quoting $12,000 to replace it. The caps are loose, but they've been doing a service on it forever how long, and now this was a new construction house, 7 years old, and they're trying to do what they do with their leasing program, get you tied in. And she's elderly. Her husband passed away since last year, and the home inspector said the unit was not cooling properly, so she had the experts come out. They have been servicing it for her up until last spring, and said it was low on charge. Told her it was empty, and it may very well be. I'm not getting too much of a hiss when I put this on. The disconnect was out when I got here, and they may be right. Probably a leak in that Linux. Oh, I got a little bit of pressure, not much though. There may be a leak in that coil up there, but she's selling the house, so there's no reason for a 7-year-old unit, in my opinion. If you try to sell somebody a $12,000 system, and they're in the process of, she's older, elderly, probably in her 70s, get rid of her house, get tied into some kind of leasing program for a new system, and then she's going to be screwed. The new homeowners be stuck with that as well. It's just shady stuff that people do around here, man. Shady stuff. You know, 7 years old, you're selling the unit. It wasn't registered. It was new construction. So there's our standing pressure right there, 172. So I'm going to turn it on and see what the actual pressures are, and then we'll get up there and do a leak search on it. But I mean, come on. Elderly lady trying to sell the house. Now the buyers are wanting $12,000 off the price of the house. So they had their guy come out, and he gave her a quote for $8,000 just to do a coil and an outdoor unit. So, I mean, it didn't get registered, new construction, so the coil won't be under warranty, but you know, $3,000 or so for a new coil, as opposed to $8,000 for a new unit for a new homeowner to enjoy. It's just a little sketchy to me. So let's go see what the pressures are. Alright, so I have got the unit turned back on. Running about a 39, 214. So, according to her, nobody ever really did a leak search on it, so nobody knows where the leak is. They just came out and just started quoting brand new equipment instead of actually giving a repair option. So we're going to give her that option. Let's see if we can find out where this leak is. So anyway, we'll see what we can come up with. Turn that off. Look in here. The home inspector said he saw some rust on the burner rack, but that may be from if this thing's been freezing or if the drain line's been plugged, or there's been some sweating going on around the top of this furnace and this coil box. It's dripping down there. I mean, it's a Linux. It's something you typically. So we've got two experts around here. We've got the experts of service and the experts of air. The experts of air were born out of the experts of service because the owner of that company was a general manager for the experts of the service. So yeah, it was like there was a little bit of some drainage, some droppage, maybe a little condensation up there. I'm not going to be concerned about that a lot, especially if this coil is going to come out of here, because we're going to reseal all that anyway. Got the old APCO. There you go. The APCO piece of junk. But let's see if we can locate a leak in this coil. Another indicator nobody's ever peeked in the coil is I had to take the tape and use my knife to trim the mastic off the top of the screw head. I got that one off with my chuck, but it was still covered in tape as well. So that screw's never been taken out. So we'll get this one out. Of course, it's behind the flue, so we'll use our little electrician's ratchet. Alright guys, I guess you hear the H10 over here humming, warming up. Another indicator. I had to cut all the silicone on this door, so this has never been pulled off. The Armaflex was actually still stuck to the inside of this door right there, where it had been silicone and put on there. The fact that those screws hadn't been taken off. It's been a long time since this door's, probably since install, but look at this. That thing's just sitting in there. It's resting. It's almost like they didn't fit it in here properly when they installed it. And it's just kind of hanging in there. Look at that junk. So I don't know. Rusted pretty good. This whole side is oily down here. That side over there is still dry, so we'll see what we can come up with. Get this leak detector put up here a little higher. Insulation's already irritating me a little bit. Well, we'll see what we can come up with in here. Alright guys, there was some bum fuckery going on when this thing was installed. I don't know if you can see back there or not. Catch that angle back there. But that coil is not sitting in here straight really. And I still hadn't figured out where all this bouncing around. This is why it's resting. This is the original coil. It's been here for 7 years. Sitting in there doing all that. So I'm not picking up any leaks around here anywhere. Around any of the U-bends. Obviously, if you look right there in the pan, let's see what comes off. Right there on the fingers, the oil is all over the pan down here. So when I go, I think it's leaking from back there in the tube back there somewhere. I'm not finding it in any of these U-bends. And then when obviously when the air's been blowing, it's just been blowing it up across here because it's completely dry on the other side. But when I stick the leak detector right down in there, it's an angle. How well you can see that. But when I shove it right down under there, in that channel of the drain pan, I'm going to guess that leak is back somewhere under the bottom of this thing. Somewhere. Either way, it's going to need a coil because all this stuff is just saturated in oil. So I'm guessing it's leaking from back there and it's just been blowing. But I don't know why this thing is shaking like this. Because this pan's supposed to come up here, if I'm not mistaken, and there's two screws. There's little tabs at the top of this pan. That when it's sitting in here properly, the pan is actually connected right there. And this metal A door on there should go all the way down to the bottom of the pan, but it doesn't. So this thing's not even sitting in this pan like it's supposed to, which probably explains our water problem. But all this can be remedied with a new coil. I mean, it's a 7.5-year-old system. I mean, the furnace is in good shape. There's no reason for that. Slide a new coil. We don't even have to change the box. Just get the new one, make sure it goes in and gets mounted right. I don't know why they got the thing in here bouncing around like this. But the jackleg new construction job. But anyway, guys, they wanted $12,000. I'm gonna lease her a new unit and she's trying to sell the house. The other company told her $8,000 for a coil and outdoor unit. Nobody ever gave her an actual repair option. If it was 12, 13 years old, I'd say yeah. I mean, you're selling a house, you're not going to be here to enjoy the new system. So if the outdoor equipment is working properly, your furnace is fine, just get the problem fixed. Put a new coil in it. Let the old lady sell the house and move on down the road. Don't hem her up with a bunch of debt. But that's what they do around here. They finance you, they lease you, get you into a contract, and next thing you know, they got a lien on your house and they own you, and they still own the equipment. Alright guys, appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe.